It's Monday, May the 24th, and it's a very rare day in that it's not raining. And I've come to look at the bottom length of Fawdington, having looked at the top length last couple of weeks ago. And with all the rain, the river is really well up. It's not a normal sort of spring or summer flow. In fact, if it was 3 weeks hence, it would be an absolute dream day for barbel fishermen. Anyway, I'll make my way down from where I left off last time. And the air is really heavy with the smell of hawthorn blossom. So the village is up, well I say village, but 3 farms up there. And I'm going to go down here to start at the top end, which is peg 31. So this is the bottom of the horseshoe bit, which I've already done. And I finished at this stile. So I'm going to climb over the stile and make my way down the bottom length. With about 20 yards, this wide open space here, which I think is peg 31. And you can see there the river is well up. You see it's going down, mind. It's been right up the top of this bank, as you can see by the silt and these nettles. Here's a peg marker 32. Quite steep down there. Now, continuing along the bank, let's find peg 33. Well, there's a new peg marker 32 up there, but this is an old peg marker 32 down there. And the water has a lot more pace there. In normal levels, it's quite shallow. And a bit of a sort of rapid at that point. Now I'll continue on down, see if I find a new peg marker 33. There we are, peg 33. Make your way down there. Fight your way back up. Looks very nice. Well, coming down the footpath as usual. Here there's a huge landslip. So you can't get across there, just have to go back up to 33, it's not very far. A few yards and make my way around the top of this landslip and find peg 34. Wonderful greenery at this time of year. Beautiful hawthorn blossom there. Stunning. Well, I've come along here probably, I don't know, maybe 50, 100 yards through that gap in the fence to get round that landslip. And the next peg I come to on this ancient field maple tree is peg 35. So it's pretty obvious that peg 34 is not accessible with that landslip being there. Yes, go and have a look at 35, which is down through here, not very far. A little marker on the bank, and down there, sit down there. And that's a look down the river. Or that it had been June the 16th. But it isn't. And continuing down past these ancient trees to peg 36. It's on this ancient ash tree. Again, make your way down there. Peg 36. It's quite steep, have to be very careful of them. And the river's like it is today. And over there is the top section of the West Riding Anglers. And you see those two little posts there. There's his downstream from that post there. And at this point you come out into the open fields. You can see my car parked up there by the roadside on the verge. So, coming down from 36 to 37. And I'm standing on by the peg marker, 37. And at this point, when the river's at normal level, there's a great mass of rushes, and the main flow goes down the far side. But the rushes are all under the water. Call it the old man's peg, because your car's just there. You roll over that stile, and I don't know what it'll be, 30 yards to the river. A lovely stretch of river that is. And this is peg 38. Again, a really easy peg to fish. You can see just how high the river has been recently. All these nettles covered in silt. And there's a river down there. So this is peg 39 we've just come to now. You can see by the mass of debris how high the river gets. In fact, sometimes it goes right up onto the road there where that fence is. And when it's low, or relatively low like it is now, there's a new little bridge being put in to get from one field into the next. But when the river doesn't have to be up very much, well, that will be underwater. However, if you follow the beck up a little bit towards the road, let's go and have a look at that. When the river's up, if you've parked there and you want to be in this next field, there's a little bridge here. A sneaky little thing. Just be very careful. Normally it's absolutely covered in plodder because the sheep use it. So this little beck comes under this culvert under the road. There's this little bridge, and it makes its way down there to the river, which is, I don't know, far 30 yards or so, to where that new bridge is. So let's come up into this next field. There you can see the new bridge, all the debris, flood debris everywhere. So I've come down into the next field, and the first peg in this field is peg 40. And there it is. Now, often when you're fishing this peg, that peg marker is underwater, just to give you some idea of what happens in flood conditions. I mean, there you can see the tide line, all the rubbish. 41. A bit like peg 40, it's quite featureless. No great banks of willows here, there and everywhere. 42. There's a few more features a bit downstream and opposite. There's a bank of willows, a couple of swans there. Usually there's 4 of them, but they're very fishermen aware and they're very aware of fishing line, so they tend not to be any bother. But they won't refuse a titbit if you offer it, but it's not to be encouraged. Otherwise they're sitting your peg all day. You don't have to come very far before you hit peg 43 with those same willows opposite. That bank of willows going down there. As you approach the bottom of this field, there's a sort of double fence with 2 stiles going across. And again, when it's in flood, all well up, as you can see by this detritus, the whole lot is covered. But there's a little peg marker on here, it says peg 44, and I'm sure it refers to this, the bottom peg in this field, down here. There's fish off there, it just drops off at that point, so that's very deep, that water. Anyway, rather than go over the stile into the next field, I'll make my way up the hedge and we'll have a look at where you park. There's another little parking place up here. Come up this field, along this hedge. There is a stile here. It's a bit rickety. But, there's also a gate into the field. So you see my car way up there, and you can park here on the verge. I'm standing on the road. But when it's wet, it's really wet, and I've been stuck on here, as have several others. So if you park in here when it's wet, you want to park as close to the road as you can. But there are plans, I understand, to get some hardcore on it. Anyway, just through the hedge here is a little stile which takes us into the next field down. There, you can see it there. So I'll just go over this and back down the river, just the other side of that hawthorn bush. So I'm back at these 2 stiles here. When the river's in flood, as it has been, it fills this up here. And when the river goes back down, this is quite deep. You can see over there the tide line where it has been. Brown nettles and green nettles. And the first peg in this field, I'm assuming, is 41, although the little marker there has disappeared, probably in the flood. At this point the river narrows up, so you get quite fast flow here. You can see it there as it comes through the gap, narrow gap, then it widens out again, going back downstream. So we're just coming a little further down, peg 45. Again, quite featureless, although there are some new willows appearing over there. Till we get down here, it's 46. And there are those willows over there shedding their fluffy seeds or fluffy fruits. And again, the river narrows up at this point, a little promontory there, a little bush in water. Well, the remains of a peg, which I'm assuming is 47. Yeah, those willows opposite, you see all the fluff drifting in the breeze. And now back on track. 48. Bush there. Some willows opposite. The river just swings gently to the left. And the last peg in this field is 49. And big skies you get at Fawdington. Lovely on a day like today. But when it's wet and windy, it's really bleak. Anyway, I make my way through that gap there into the last field. So this is the bottom field at Fawdington. Finishes where those big trees are down there. And there's a little gap in the fence. And I'm standing on 50. Looking downstream, the bottom limit. And just a few yards further down is peg 51. And the next peg marker I've come to is 53. And somewhere I missed 52, doesn't matter. This is the sun's beginning to reappear. And this is the very bottom peg, peg 54. So when the river's up a little bit, all this in front of you is flooded, as you can see by those mud-coloured nettles. The road is just there by that big oak tree. There's a stile over at a parking place. I'll go and have a look at that. The very bottom. And there's the bottom limit. So there's the stile at the bottom end, and there it tells you where you can get your day ticket if you're tempted to come here fishing. So just go over the stile and just down here, round this corner, you can park on the right, or on the left if you're coming into the place. So you can park here on the left and just round the corner under that oak tree there in the stile, which I've just come across. Anyway, I'll make my way back up the river and just take some general views while the sun is out. It's a lovely day. Because over there, coming this way, it looks very ominous. Yeah, look at that wonderful sky there. See for miles. And this is the second field from the bottom. You can see Fawdington Grange Farm there in the distance. All this fluff's a bit like snow. Little seeds being transported everywhere. So this is looking up the third field from the bottom. That's what you'd call it, the middle field. Yeah, you can see quite a long way down. This is from peg 40, looking downstream. And back up at that little new bridge which has been put in. Very welcome. So this is the fourth field from the bottoms, the second one down from the top. This is a map of Fawdington Bottom, just showing where some of the pegs are and where you can park. Well, there we are. That's the bottom length of Fawdington. Peg 31 down to, I think it's peg 54. Anyway, we'll see you again. Take care. Bye bye.